Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another evening of exciting Norristown Area High School basketball. Tonight we've got a fine matchup on tap, the Norristown Eagles in their season finale taking on the Ghosts of Abington. I'm Alan Raleigh along with Bill Werkheiser, and of course, Bill, last week we saw Norristown battle Truman, a team that had a great individual player in Martin Sally. Of course, Norristown has Darren Queenan, and tonight against Abington, they of course feature a fine forward, Junie Lewis.
Yes, Junie Lewis is another potential and legitimate all-state player. I saw him against Norristown over at Abington. I was very impressed with him. He can play inside or out. In fact, Coach Wilkinson used him against the press for bringing the ball up, so he's a great player. I think you're going to enjoy watching him tonight.
Well, I think the thing about him is he's so versatile. He can bring the ball up, he can play down low, although he's only 6'1", but he originally started out as a point guard for Abington in his sophomore year.
He's a great jumper for a kid 6'1". He is the first young man that I saw make Darren Queenan alter his shot all year. And in fact, he blocked a couple of Darren shots in that game. So he's a great player, and I think University of Pittsburgh has a real good player in Lewis.
And of course, Norristown Eagles led by Darren Queenan, who's averaging close to 24 points a ball game, and I'd say anywhere from 5 to 8 block shots a game. Darren, as you've seen in this entire season, has excellent jumping ability. But as we saw last week against Truman, this is not the type of matchup where you can isolate the two individual stars. They're going to rack up their points, but once again, it's going to come down to how well their teammates do. In Norristown, of course, Frankie Dobbs and Wayne Wise, the two keys.
Yes, and this young man, Greenberg from Abington, had a great game over there. I think he had 25 points. He was a big factor for Abington. But I would like to say that, as I said last week against Truman, as Darrell Wise goes, sometimes that's how Norristown goes, and not Darrell Wise, but Wayne Wise, Darrell's brother. But the Abington game, Wayne wasn't even in the ball game. He just never got into the flow and never got into the rhythm of the game. I think tonight Wayne is going to have something to prove and play a much better ball game, and I think you're going to see a much better team, or Abington's going to see a much better team tonight than they did over there.
And Wayne had a very big effort against Truman, 21 points, and he really keyed the Eagles' comeback in the third quarter of that victory.
Yes, he did. He had a great game, and like I said, when Wayne is right, I think Norristown's right. It's not taking anything away from the other players. It just seems that when he's on, it takes some pressure off of Darren and Frankie Dobbs.
Okay, so what type of game does Norristown have to play here tonight in order to defeat Abington?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to see almost the same type of games we saw against Truman. Coach Wilkinson, I'm sure, will press quite a bit. He's a pressing coach. I'm sure John at times will press during the game. I won't say it'll be a track meet, but I think we'll see a transition type game this evening.
Okay, the Eagles will once again be out to avenge an earlier season loss. They've only suffered 2 defeats in the Suburban 1 Conference this year. One against Truman, they came back to defeat them. And of course, they lost to Abington, so they'll try to defeat them here this evening. We'll be back for the opening tap and also the player introductions in just a moment. Okay, we're getting the opening introductions here. We'll give you the Abington starting lineup as soon as they come out for the opening tap. Abington in the gold and maroon. Norristown, of course, in their home, white with the blue trim. Eagles coached by John Cresswell, assisted by Earl Mitchell. The Abington Coasts. Head coach is Jim Wilkinson. Here comes number 15, Wayne Wise. Number 24, Mike Simpkins. Number 13, Stan Hadrick. Number 12, Darren Queenan. And of course, number 5, Frankie Dobbs. For Abington, we'll have number 41, Junie Lewis. Number 53, 53, Mac Greenberg.
Alan Barlow's not listed on a program tonight. I don't know why. He was a starter last time we played him over at Abington, but he's a big kid, about 6'5", sort of an unassuming player, but he gets a lot of garbage basket on the offensive boards. I think he's number 43.
And Abington wins the tap. Barlow has the ball. And Abington pops the first basket of this ball game. Number 21, Jay Gaston, the 6'1 senior forward, puts it through for the Ghosts to go up a quick 2-0.
Okay, Alan, Abington starts out with a 2-3 zone with Greenberg, Barlow, and Lewis in the back. Lewis is only about 6'1", but he jumps about 6'5", so you see some real leaping tonight.
Frankie Dobbs looking to go inside. It's picked off by Barlow, getting up to Junie Lewis. Lewis on the break, a bounce pass over to Gaston. He pulls up, goes back inside. And we have a foul called on Darren Queenan. That'll send number 53, Matt Greenberg, to the line. Greenberg, 6'4 center for the Ghosts.
Okay, I think we just saw an example of what we're going to have Abington doing all night. They're going to push the ball up as much as possible. And if they can get that ball off the defensive board, they'll be running a lot.
As Greenberg calmly sinks the first.
I was impressed with this young man over at Abington. He's got a nice touch, and he's a battler. He'll get in there and battle on the boards. Shoots pretty well for a big guy.
And Mike Simpkins loses control of the rebound there. Abington recovers. Junie Lewis down in the right corner, goes back outside to Gaston. Mike Yarnoff, number 13. They go down low to Barlow. And what you
high-low play there, Alan, into the high post, down to the baseline, and we get two. Very well executed.
And Abington up 5-zip. Norristown still looking to get on the scoreboard here. Frank Dobbs down along the baseline in the right corner now. Back out to Darren Queenan. Dobbs open, passes up the shot, goes on the baseline, partially blocked, tipped by Darren Queenan. Simpkins recovers. Mike drives through the lane. Shovel shot blocked. We have a whistle.
I think it's Norristown's ball.
Dobbs, the trigger man on the inbound play.
There's two.
We've seen Norristown do that quite a few times here this season.
They like to loop the ball into Darren, and he can get up high enough to take it away from him and put it back in there. Norristown starts right off with a 2-2-1 press. This will pick up the tempo. Notice where they put Junie Lewis against his press. Back to get the ball. They'll get it right back to him when they can.
They trap Gaston over in the corner. They get it up, though.
There's a trap. They got him. Uh-oh. I think that's on Simpkins. Had a pretty good trap set up there, and they had all the passing lanes shut off. There was no way that Yarnoff could find anybody open. When you set up a trap like that, you're really not looking to steal the ball. All you're doing is trying to make it tough for them to make the next pass.
Gaston nails the baseline jumper, and he's fouled by Wayne Wise.
That's 3 fouls already. That's not good.
In and out, Darren Queenan pulling it down. This game being brought to you, of course, by the Norristown Area School District. Norristown trailing, though, 7-2 early in this contest. Frankie Dobbs dishes off in the lane to Wayne Wise. He misses it. Good penetration that time by Dobbs, and Wise's shot would not fall. Junie Lewis takes it right into the blue area. And his pass intended for Greenberg, but Greenberg was going the other way.
He got up in the air. He should let it fly. There was nobody up. Once you leave the floor, you got to shoot the ball, unless you can find somebody that's open for sure.
Darren in a crowd, bounces off the backside of the rim.
Abington looks to push the ball all the time.
Gaston picked from the ball, misses the shot. Wise pulling it down. Hadrick loses it momentarily, regains his dribble. And Queenan fouled on the play by number 13, Mike Yarnoff, his first personal.
That was somewhat of a foolish foul, wasn't it? Darren's going away from the basket. No way he's going to score. He just reached in and fouled him.
Stan Hadrick over to Dobbs, corner to Queenan. He drives the line.
I think that's on Barlow. Big
That's
guy.
it. Number 43, Barlow. working around Frank Dobbs, back at the Hadrick, right side of the key, inside the Queenan, up off the ground. His shot's blocked by Junie Lewis, but Queenan follows through, pulls down the rebound, and puts it in for 2. Good second effort there. Dobbs right on top of Lewis. They get it up to Barlow, down low.
Nice
Greenberg.
Play. Very nice. That was a very, very well executed break.
Dobbs pops from outside. Doesn't fall. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Abington's ball. And Steve Bishop, number 20, checking into the game for Mike Simpkins. Scramble. Junie Lewis finally coming up with it for Abington. And Dobbs knocks it out of his hands.
Frankie.
They got Queenan breaking to the hoop. His shot blocked by Lewis. Lewis called for the foul. Oh, there you were talking about that
Didn't
leaping
I tell
ability.
You he could jump? It looked like a good block to me, but Joe Hannon, an excellent official, was right on the play.
Queenan nails 1 of 2.
Getting back to that last break that Abington had, I'll tell you, that was well executed. It took maybe 3 or 4 passes to get 3/4 of the court into the man under the basket for a layup. That's the way it's supposed to be run.
To go back out, top of the key to Gaston. Junie Lewis from 20 feet out, no good. Tapped around, Wing Wise pulling it down, has Frankie Dobbs. Queenan breaking on the right side, alley-oop, and Queenan lays it in. That'll get the Norristown fans pumped up. And now a steal by Stan Hadrick on the inbound pass, but it's blocked by Lewis. And Gaston coming up with it for Abington. He's trapped in the corner by Hadrick, and Bishop looking for some room. Gaston still in the backcourt, gets up to Barlow. Barlow to Lewis, 2-on-1 against Queenan. Lewis, off-balance shot doesn't go. Greenberg has it, loses it. Lewis recovers and puts it through.
A lot of action in there, Alan. A lot of action. That's Lewis's first 2.
Down the other end, Steve Bishop has the open jumper. He puts it in.
Here we go. The tempo's picking up. I told you it would be a track meet. 2 pressing teams, although Abington hasn't pressed yet. They'll go with the breaks.
And there's Barlow
Another
wide open.
well-executed break.
Yarnoff found Barlow roaming the baseline that time. No one was there. He puts it in.
Go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry. I was about to say it was Abington 13, Queenan 7 till Bishop canned that one, and there's another.
So Steve Bishop's come off the bench for 2 quick field goals. Norristown down by 2, 13-11. 2:35 left to go here in the first quarter.
Great move. That's Lewis's second foul, I believe, 41. Now here's a difference in coaches. Coach Gressoir, I'm sure, if that was Queenan, would have Darren on the bench next to him. I don't think Coach Wilkinson will do that yet. He has that much confidence in Lewis to play with 2 fouls this early in the game. Abington changed their defense a little bit. They moved Lewis out a little bit hard to make it 3-2 zone.
And Wise is fouled.
I believe that was on Barlow, Allen. And that's his second. All of a sudden, we have 5 team fouls for Abington and only 3 for Norristown. You sense the tempo picking up early in this game?
Oh, definitely. And it's weird. The more excitement you have on the floor, once again, the more the crowd is getting into this ball game.
Exactly right. And I think the crowd before the night show is going to play a big part in this game.
Well, we saw what a big effect they had on the Truman ball game as Norristown made their big run in the third quarter.
Nice.
And Bishop recovers it and pops it in. And what a lift Steve Bishop has given the Eagles coming off the bench.
Tell you who made that play, though. I'm not sure it was Simpkins. I believe Simpkins broke the ball loose.
Wise.
Was it Wise?
Yes. And Norristown taking the lead here, 14-13. A little under 2 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Abington being more patient. They go inside to Greenberg. Turn around with a little hook shot. No good. Wise gets the rebound. Hadrick leading the break. 3-on-2 for Norristown. Loses his dribble.
Break.
Gets it to Bishop.
Very nice.
What a recovery by Stan Hadrick.
Stan's been playing very well. There's another steal.
And at the other end, Steve Bishop tried to draw the charge that time, but he's whistled for the foul.
I'll tell you what. Stevie Bishop got a lot of guts. He's not going to let you get two easy ones at any time. Last week we saw it against Pennell with the Truman team where Pennell challenged him all the way down the court. Steve took the charge. He wasn't going to let Lewis get an easy two on that one either.
Yarnoff down to, well, he gets the ball back at the key. Drives in the lane.
I think we have that on Hadrick.
Yeah, blocking foul on Stan Hadrick. His first of the game. 16-13 Norristown up, minute 18 to go. And Mike Simpkins checks into the ball game now, replacing Stan Hadrick, so Bishop and Dobbs will be in the backcourt. And Yarnoff hits the first. Mike Yarnoff, a 6'1" senior guard for the Ghosts. Two for two, 16-15 Eagles.
No, Alan, really we're having a playoff for second place here tonight because I don't see any way possible in the Chamonix can beat Truman tonight to put Norristown in a tie for first. It's a shame, but that's the way the game goes.
Bishop, shot is short, gets his own rebound. Frankie Dobbs has it. About 50 seconds to go here. Simpkins saves it, gets it back out to Bishop. Bishop drives the lane, gets it to Queen, and he's called for travel.
I'll tell you what, Stevie's playing with a lot of intensity. He's always into the game, as well as Stan Hadrick. You know, the two of those guys, if they're not great guards, they just do a heck of a good job.
Gaston has it,
Excellent
and he drives
move.
by.
Who was that, 21?
Yeah, Jay Gaston. 18 seconds to go here. Bishop tries to go in a crowd, gets it to Queenan, or gets it to Wise, excuse me, and Wayne puts it in. 18-17, 9 seconds and counting. And they'll have to put this one up. Lewis from 20 feet. No good, so at the end of one, it's Norristown 18, Abington 17. And well, that first quarter lived up to all its advanced billing. But surprisingly, Junie Lewis was kind of quiet in that first period.
Yeah, he was very quiet. He only has 2 points. I don't know whether he's a great player. He doesn't have to do some of the things he's trying to do, like some of the alley-oop drives or whatever you want to call them with a one-hand finger roll type thing. He's getting a little fancy the first quarter. He's going to have to settle down and play his game because he's not at Abington tonight. And, you know, they're going to concentrate on him. So he's got to be a little bit more serious about what he's doing, as I see it anyway, up to this point.
I believe Lewis is coming off a 41-point ball game the last time the Ghosts hit the floor.
Incidentally, did you hear about that young man in Philadelphia scoring 66 points?
Yeah, Mike Anderson of Engineering and Science, I believe it is.
I think he had 40 or 45 at the game before or something like that. That's a lot of points. A lot of shooting, too.
He went to the foul line 32 times, I think it was, in the game. Yeah, just an average night work.
Sure.
Queenan and Lewis going up.
As we expected, another good ball game. Abington gets a tip again.
Oh, and Greenberg's pass too hard off the hands of Jack Larson, number 25, a 6'1" forward who's checked into the ball game for the Ghosts. Also in there, number 15, Wade Fitzgerald in the backcourt. He's 5'9", a senior. Norristown still out there with Bishop and Dobbs in the backcourt. Queenan, Simpkins, and Wise along the front line. Dobbs
That
shot
was a poor
blocked.
shot. That was a bad pass.
It's loose. Abington recovers. Junie Lewis bringing it up.
Frankie's getting a little impatient now. Just to get it settled down. The shots will come. Ooh, that looked like a walk.
So smooth that time. Lewis just hangs in midair and pops it. Queenan at the other end. Has Fitzgerald in front of him. Pulls up for the jumper. It's no good. Greenberg with the recovery. Fitzgerald.
You know, what makes Lewis's jump shot so good is that he gets so high up off the floor. You know, he really gets up.
Greenberg right back into the hands of Lewis. Simpkins with the block, and Lewis called for the double dribble. Bishop to Dobbs. Simpkins down the right side. Goes through the lane, misses the shot. Barlow with it momentarily. Dobbs recovers and puts it in. So Frankie gets his first basket of the evening. Frank had some problems in that first quarter. Had 2 of his shots blocked from the outside. Fitzgerald driving by Simpkins to Barlow. That's the third
See what I
basket.
mean about Barlow? He just hangs right near the basket. The guards penetrate, dish off them. All his baskets are within 4 or 5 feet of the hoop.
That's right, 3 times this evening, right there on the left side, and he's put it in.
His assignment is to get on that box on the break, and if he's open, they shuffle it to him.
Almost lost Simpkins there, though. And it goes off the leg of Larson. Coming into the game once again for Abington, number 21, Jay Gaston, as Barlow takes a seat on the bench. Pace has slowed considerably here. Queenan loses it in the lane. Fitzgerald coming up with it. It's going to be a 3-on-1 Abington break. Frankie Dobbs just lets Fitzgerald go in.
Very nice layup. I think that's the young man's brother played for Abington a couple years ago. Probably the quickest little guard I've seen around here for a long time.
Jamie Fitzgerald.
Jamie Fitzgerald, right.
And Queenan nails it. Frankie Dobbs passed up the shot that time, saw Queenan open with a little 12-footer, and he pumped it in. And we've got a timeout taken here by Abington. Norristown cheerleaders coming out onto the floor. Norristown trailing here by 1. 23-22, 5.5 to go in the opening half.
I think soon we'll see either one of the 2 teams make a spurt. And if it's a type of game that I think it's going to be, the other team will come back with a spurt too. I think the momentum is going to continue to switch all night. Right now, it stayed pretty level, and they're even at this point.
But surprising, have you seen the intensity? It's just kind of leveled off here in the opening minutes of the second quarter. Both teams came out a little flat.
They picked it up a little bit, and then all of a sudden it died down again. You know, when you have the team pressing the way Norristown does, Abington's going to get a lot of layups. That's the nature of that type of defense. It's a wide open defense. It's a gambling defense. If you can get the steal or the double team, fine. If not, the other team is going to get a lot of layups. And it's proven here tonight. I think Abington's got 3 or 4 up their press. Good block.
And Larson's shot blocked by Wise. They go down the baseline to Lewis. Lewis gets Simpkins up in the air. He comes down and Lewis pumps it in.
That's Lewis's 6th point, by the way, Alan.
Bishop at the other end driving in. He's called for walking. Lewis from the corner, around the rim, no good. Norristown, well, let's see. It's going to be Abington's ball. Fitzgerald will be inbounding it. Inside to Lewis, Bishop right there.
Nice play by Stevie Bishop. He anticipated that pass to the corner into Lewis, and he went after it. Knocked it into Lewis's foot. Norristown's ball.
Queenan, turnaround, doesn't go. Larson with the rebound.
I'll tell you what, Alan, looks like Abington's playing Frankie Dobbs head-to-head with like a triangle in one or a box in one. Last time down, I watched this Fitzgerald kid. He was all over Dobbs.
And Dobbs coming up with the steal and feeds Bishop for the easy layup. Frank's second steal of the evening.
I'm sure Daddy Bishop likes what he's seeing.
25-24, Norristown down by one. Simpkins tries for the steal, can't save it from going out of bounds though. Coming into the game, number 13, Mike Yarnoff, and here come the familiar chance.
Sweet Lou.
Lou Simpson, the unlikely star of the victory over Truman.
The paper said a star was born. He happened to be at the right place at the right time.
That's the truth. Greenberg rolling hook shot. Simpson with the rebound, he's fouled.
That should be 1-1. That's a 16 foul. It should be a 1-1.
They walk it down the other way now.
Getting back to Abington's defense, I thought I saw Fitzgerald trailing Dobbs all over the court, but he's out now. We'll see what happens. See if Yarnoff stays with him man-to-man.
Frank's been a little tentative to put it up from outside tonight after getting those two shots blocked.
Yeah, he had a couple shots that he could have taken, and he hesitated a little bit. He's got to let them go. And Lou Simpson continues to make the foul shot. Last week he made me look bad.
He just wanted to get his picture in the paper. 1 of 2, 25 off. 4 minutes to go, opening half.
Norristown's cutting the passing lanes off pretty good, Alan. They're not getting the passes they want.
Gaston,
good rebound.
Shot, no good. Bishop, 3:01 Norristown break. Darren Quinn in the other side. Dobbs in the middle, and he goes in for the layup.
Nice break, very nice break.
(27-25), Eagles up by 2 once again. Seesaw battle here this evening. Yarnoff to Gaston, looking to go inside, goes back out to Yarnoff, top of the key. Lewis down on the baseline, Queenan and Simpson right on his back. And Gaston calmly hits from outside.
I was about ready to say that Gaston better be careful with some of his passes because Frankie's sitting there back there like a cat waiting for him. Yeah, Yarnoff continues to trail Dobbs all over the court. Looks like a triangle or some kind of zone with Yarnoff playing Dobbs man-to-man. There it is.
And Bishop hits again.
Bishop moves very well without the ball. Hits those open spots in the middle zone. He came right in from the baseline on that. They found him, hit him, and he got 2.
Now Steve has 12 points here tonight already.
That's a hustle foul. That's a hustle foul.
Steve's second foul of the game. Steve gets a breather and a well-deserved round of applause as Stan Hadrick comes back in. Wade Fitzgerald checks in for the Ghosts.
That's all it is, just a little rest. He's been working hard.
Doesn't go, Simpson with the board. (27-24), Abington. Queenan to Hadrick, gets Simpson, turnaround, no good.
I think we got a foul on Simpkins. That's his second. Coming over top. This is Lewis's first trip to the foul line. Very soft shot, Alan. Very soft shot. Good technique. Follow through. He doesn't snap that wrist back. He'll wait till that ball goes through. He's still missing that way, too, sometimes.
You jinxed him again. Hadrick over to Dobbs. Frankie stripped by Wade Fitzgerald.
Great
Up at the
handle.
other end, Yarnoff and Hadrick racing for the ball. Yarnoff gets it to Lewis. Lewis loses it. Hadrick and
Good hustle.
Yarnoff going for it again. Lewis on the baseline, jumper, and he nails it.
Tempo's picking up again.
Minute 40 to go here in this half. 30-29 Abington. Queenan in midair, he's fouled. On number 53, Matt Greenberg.
I'll tell you, Darren is learning to face the basket when he gets that ball at the high post, and he's getting so many things he can do. Once he pivots and turns and faces, he can shoot the jumper, he can drive to the basket like he did then. And I'm sure the college coaches who are after Darren like to see him perform that skill.
And Queenan hits them both. Eagles up by 1, 31-30. Lewis with Dobbs right on him. Yarnoff over to Lewis. He pops. Nothing but the glass. Hadrick to Dobbs. Bounce pass to Queenan. And it falls.
Beautiful. Well executed.
See that great body movement by Queenan in midair there. Yarnoff calling for the timeout.
Sure was. I'll tell you, that was a nice break. That was well executed. Get the ball to the middle, look to both sides, and Darren filled the lane with good speed. That's Darren's 13th point of the night. He's on track for his average.
33-30. Eagles up.
You know, Lou Simpson has made a difference in there since the short time he's been in. He has about 3 rebounds already.
And you notice Abington hasn't found it so easy to go down low as they had in the earlier parts of the ball game.
Exactly, right. And I'm sure that's why John has him in there, to get the ball off the defensive board so they can get it out and run.
Coming out for Abington, Greenberg. Barlow back into the game. Fitzgerald, Lewis, and Yarnoff.
That's Abington's second time out, which is their last for this half.
Hadrick, Dobbs, Simpson, Queenan, Simpkins for Norristown. 1 minute to go here, opening half. Yarnoff inside the Greenberg. Simpson there along with Simpkins, and Simpkins I think is going to be called for the foul. That's his third in the game.
Who did he call on, Simpkins?
Mike Simpkins.
Coach Cresswell wanted to walk on that. He might have shuffled a little bit, but again, the officials didn't see it that way.
Wayne Wise will be coming back into the game, I'm sure, to replace Simpkins.
This young man's been quiet tonight, too. By this time, last time they played, this Greenberg kid had about 15, 16 points. Jimmy Wilkins is making a smart move now. He's got Lewis with 2 and only 51 seconds to go. He got him on the bench where he belongs. You don't want that quick third one.
And Barlow gets the rebound on the missed foul shot. Greenberg to Fitzgerald. Miss. Wayne Wise pulling it down. Hadrick has it. Hadrick has it knocked out of his hands, rolls out of bounds. It'll be Norristown's ball.
He called it off Hadrick's foot.
Correction, Abington. Thought it went out on Fitzgerald, but it's not how the ref saw it. So 33-31 Norristown. Abington with 30 seconds here could tie this game up. Frank Dobbs trying to go for the steal. He was caught.
I was waiting for Frankie to try that. He's been sitting back. He hasn't had as many steals tonight as he usually has. And I've been watching him. He's been sitting, waiting and waiting. Finally thought he saw his opportunity, but didn't get there quick enough.
Kind of like a cat awaiting its prey. And Queenan pulls down the miss. So the Eagles have a chance here. Open up their lead going into the locker room. Hadrick looking for some help, gets it over to Darren. Over the other side to Frankie Dobbs. Dobbs driving the baseline inside to Simpson, who loses it. And Abington comes up with it, 10 seconds left. Stolen by Norristown. Dobbs now has it picked off by Fitzgerald. They give away. 6 seconds left, 3-on-1. And a block by Darren Queenan. He's called for the foul.
Wow, that looked like a clean block to me.
I think you're right there. He had nothing but the ball.
But I'll tell you what, it works at both ends. I thought Lewis had Queenan down the other one early in the first quarter. There was a foul call on Lewis. This time I really thought Darren had that, but the official called it otherwise.
Sloppy ball handling here could cost Norristown. 1 second left in the half.
Yeah,
they're up by 2.
Hands 2 or 3 times with like 15 seconds to go.
And Greenberg calmly hits the first. He misses it. Queenan with the rebound, and that's all she wrote for the first half. Going into the locker room, it's Norristown 33, Abington 32. We'll be back with the halftime show in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put a halftime show forward in the season.
Well, we're here at halftime. Norristown up by 1 point, 33-32. And Bill, it was everything that we had advertised in the pregame show. It was an exciting end-to-end ball game. Both stars for the teams, Queenan and Lewis, had pretty good first halves.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the game had a couple of different tempos. It started off slow. Tempo picked up a little bit. The crowd got in, and all of a sudden we had a lull. And in the last 2 or 3 minutes, the tempo picked up again, and the transition game got started. So it's the type of game that I thought it was going to be. And of course, Norristown leading 33-32. It's still a ball game for either team.
That's true. It definitely changes of paces in the first half. That was the surprising thing, where just when you thought both squads would get into that running game, they decided to slow it down suddenly.
Yeah, Abington did beat Norristown's press a few times, and I think that's what they're going to try to do all night. If John stays in it, they'll try to get the layups. Norristown's going to get those steals occasionally, but they're going to have to do it more often to keep Abington from getting some of the easy layup shots.
Okay, for Norristown in the first half, Frankie Dobbs, a very quiet one offensively.
Yeah, Frankie looks like he's a little tentative tonight to shoot the ball. I don't know why, because he certainly can shoot with the best of them, but sometimes you get those games. You're not quite sure whether you want to let it fly, but this second half, he's going to have to get that shot off to get some outside productivity for John.
As a coach, do you come out in the second half if your player's having a poor first half or maybe looks a little tentative? Do you run a few plays for him?
No, but I would be sure to tell him at halftime that don't be so tentative. Let the thing go. They're going to fall. Even if you miss the first 2 or 3, don't stop shooting, because he's been a consistent shooter all year, and I think that he should continue to do so.
Okay, and for the Eagles in that first half, Darren Queenan led the way, 13 points, as Steve Bishop off the bench with a quick 12. Dobbs, of course, 4, Wise 3, and Simpson 2. And how about for Abington?
We have Barlow with 6, Yarnoff 2, Lewis with 9, a little bit quiet. Greenberg real quiet compared to the last game. He had 5. We had Gaston with 8, Fitzgerald with 2. And I'd like to say something about Stevie Bishop. I think he turned the game around for Norristown in the first half. They were 4 or 5 points down. I think when he came in, and he got 3 quick baskets. Played a great first half.
Okay, so we should have an exciting second half coming up for you, and let's go back to the courts. Couple of technical difficulties there, missing the opening tap, but Abington, needless to say, has the ball.
Abington got the tap again now, and that's the 3rd one in a row.
And Junie Lewis pops from the outside, round the rim. Darren Queenan with the board. We'll set the lineups for you in just a moment. Frankie Dobbs over to Hadrick, to Queenan. Jumper, no good. Lewis skying in there for the rebound. Yarnoff has Gaston on the other side, decides to pull up for the shots, blocked by Queenan. Lewis with the rebound, it's loose, and Wayne Wise picks it up for Norristown. Wise, Dobbs, Hadrick, Simpkins, excuse me, Mike Simpkins, number 24, and Darren Queenan out there for the Eagles. Yarnoff, Lewis, Gaston, Barlow, and Greenberg, the same starting 5 that began this ball game for the Ghosts. Wise's shot doesn't fall. Barlow with the board.
Looks like Wise is hobbling a little bit, Alan.
And Junie Lewis pops it. 34-33. Abington up.
I think I saw Wayne Wise pull up a little bit. He might have turned his ankle in that last exchange under the basket.
And Frank Dobbs loses it.
Maybe he lost that. Yeah, it just slipped out of his hand. So far, Norristown looks a little bit flat starting off this second half. They got to pick it up a little bit. Uh-oh.
4 baskets.
There's a big guy underneath just hanging there waiting for that pass.
All 8 of his
pass on the
points.
sideline break. And that's a patented break, but Darren had his back to the ball. Pass probably should have never been thrown.
So the Eagles turn it over. Abington will be inbounding here. Greenberg open, jumper, and he gets it. Down the other way. Hadrick has Dobbs. He puts it up from outside. Doesn't go. Lewis on the breakaway. Bishop there, and Lewis just lays it in. Nice and pretty. Easy two for Abington. They're up by 7 now, 40-33.
So many times the first few minutes of the first half has a lot to do with the bearing of the game, and Abington come out ready to do it. There's a bad pass inside.
And Abington's come out here from the locker room, and they've scored all 8 points of this second half to open up their big lead.
John's going to have to call a timeout very soon. I'm sure he doesn't want to do it this early.
Barlow loses it. Queenan down there battling him for it, and he ties him up. We'll have a jump ball.
Okay, all they're trying to do is get the ball either in the high post and dump it low, or get the wing, a shot on the wing by Lewis, and so far they've been pretty effective at it.
And Barlow out jumps Darren.
Look at this.
Saved by Greenberg. Lewis has it.
3 seconds. 3 seconds. Gotta be 3 seconds. Well, if you didn't like that call, I don't think he felt he had possession of the ball.
So let's see if the Eagles can break the ice here in the second half. Bishop baseline. He cans it. 40-35. So Steve Bishop now with 14 points. He gave the Eagles the lift, as Bill was telling you in the halftime show earlier in the game. Maybe he can do the same here.
There it is again.
And Barlow just minds his time and puts it through. 10 points, all of them from the same position.
That's right. All they want to do is give him the ball low. He's a big kid. He's about 6'4", 6'5". Good pass. Good play.
And Wayne Wise gets his first bucket here. Of the second half, he has 5 in the game. And
Norristown's pulling the defense out a little bit out, put a little bit more pressure on the ball. Seems that they have to get down by 8, 9 points before they start to play.
Well, they want to make it a challenge.
I've had teams like that many times.
Coach can get a lot of gray hair that way.
That's for sure.
Let's see, Darren has 15 now in the game. He's averaging close to 23, 24 points a game this season.
Man-to-man.
And Bishop knocks it away to Wayne Wise. Wise going in against Yarnoff, loses the ball.
That's not Wayne's play. He's not that good a ball handler to go coast to coast. He should have probably pulled up, maybe looked around. If he was out in front of the defense, it'd been a different story, but he wasn't.
And Lewis misses Frankie Dobbs there with the rebound. Dobbs coming out for Norristown. Has Queenan open, going in on the break. He misses it, but he's fouled. You're right, in that situation, either Darren gets the basket or he's going to get fouled on the play. Eagles with only 2 losses in Suburban 1 League play this year. One to Truman, one here to Abington. Both of those losses were on the road. Norristown avenged the first to Truman here last week. They're trying to do the same against the Ghosts. And
we got a lane violation. Somebody stepped in too soon.
I believe it was Greenberg, number 53.
Isn't it funny how a game can turn around? It's 42-40. A few seconds ago, we were down by, what, 7
points. So Darren, given a second chance, makes it. Eagles down by 1, 42-41. Yarnoff. In the lane, gets it out to Fitzgerald. His shot, air ball.
That was partially blocked.
Hadrick around Yarnoff, looking for someone, has Bishop. Bounce over to Queenan. He's double teamed, loses it, but Dobbs there to recover for Norristown. Eagles pull it back out, try it again. Swing it down in the corner to Dobbs. Dobbs pulls up for the jumper, air ball.
Wise.
Wayne Wise right there to put it through. Wise now with 2 buckets in the second half. Lewis, but Bishop right there, turnaround by Lewis, off the rim.
A foul on Lewis. Lewis tried a 360. Not too many people can make those.
But he came close and it looked good.
He sure did. It looked good, but he didn't get the 2, and he fouls. He got 3 fouls on him, too.
Dobbs inside the Bishop, feeds
nice
Wise.
pass, I believe that was on Fitzgerald.
We saw the same thing happen against Truman, Bill, where Wise got more involved on the offensive end, and that's when Norristown started to make their run.
That's right. That's exactly right. When he gets in there and gets involved with the offense, they're a real good club.
And Wise,
Those 2 fouls.
golden opportunities missed. Lewis with Bishop fronting him. Looking for some help, goes over to Yarnoff, drives lane, gives it to Barlow. 12 points for Barlow. And it's loose. Hadrick recovers it in a crowd, gets right by.
Come out of this. Nice.
Gives it to Queenan. Queenan misses the dunk. Darren looking for the foul, but no whistle to be heard there. Yarnoff to Fitzgerald, pulls up, and it falls through.
Tell you what, we should have got some down here. We had 3 Abington kids stuck back here at half court. We had like 3 or 4 on 2 and got nothing out of it. Darren got a pass for Bishop or Hadrick, tried to stuff it, just never get up high enough.
Lob pass to Wise. He loses it. It goes off his leg.
Catch the ball, Wayne. Got to catch the ball.
And now Jay Gaston, number 21, checks in for Junie Lewis. Lewis on the bench with 3 fouls.
Because he got 3 fouls, yeah.
Norristown has a great chance here to put on a few points. Lewis on the bench. Dobbs going for the steal. Gaston recovers though. Yarnoff loses it. Wise picks it up. Lead pass to Bishop. It goes off of. Yeah, it goes off Bishop's
sloppy
foot.
right now. Tell you what, they miss Lewis in there. If Norristown can make a run in the next minute and 9 seconds with Lewis out there, we got another new ball game. That's a bad pass.
Yarnoff throws it out of bounds. Jim Wilkinson telling Yarnoff just to relax out there.
What else can you tell him?
Don't throw it away the next time,
don't throw it away
right?
again, huh?
Queenan down low to Wise, and Wayne gets it. And he's fouled. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
Who's that foul on, Alan? Do you know?
I didn't catch that one.
What?
I know Barlow and Gaston were down low, and Wise put it in over them.
It's a funny game. Darren threw a good crisp pass to Wayne. He caught it with one hand. Last time they threw one into him, missed it with 2.
And they've got Gaston on the break. Queenan back there. Gaston pulls up for the jumper. No good. Bishop with it. Hadrick now. Norristown got their running shoes on. And Hadrick's pass.
Run.
And traveling on Abington.
Playground game now.
Eagles lucky there. Hadrick's pass was intended for Wise. It was picked off, but Yarnoff called for traveling. Dobbs to Hadrick. 35 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Queenan. It won't fall. Greenberg with it. He's on the floor. And he goes over the line.
When he went down, he went out of bounds.
Norristown has a second opportunity. They trail by 1, 46-45. Dobbs, who's been relatively quiet tonight offensively. Bishop to Dobbs. Bishop's picked up the scoring slack. That shot is short though. It's tapped around and finally Hadrick pulls it down. 10 seconds, tries to get it inside to Queenan. Does.
Yes.
What a nice reverse little one-handed shot by Queenan. Foul on, let's see.
Barlow, Alan.
Barlow?
That's his 3rd.
Okay, so Lewis and Barlow with 3 apiece for Abington. Queenan converts the 3-point play. Norristown up by 2, 48-46, 9 seconds and counting. If Fitzgerald loses it, it's loose. Greenberg comes up with it, and it falls through as time expires. So going into the final quarter, it's all tied up at 48. What can you say?
Excuse me basket right there. He picked up a loose ball and laid it in. Now we got a new ball. Typical Abington Norristown game, Alan. Always close, always play with a lot of intensity, always with a good crowd.
Any one game with Abington that sticks out in your mind when you were coaching the Eagles?
Yeah, one in particular in '76 when we went to the state final. We lost to Abington over there, and we were winning by 1 point with about 4 or 5 seconds on the clock, and Abington took a shot. One of our kids got the rebound, and in his excitement turned around, threw an outlet pass who he thought was to our guy, and ended up at Keith Parham's hand. He dumped the shot in and beat us at the buzzer. That was a heartbreaker, believe me. The other one I can remember is when they came over here with when they had McNeil.
Oh, Howard
Johnny
McNeil.
Bates was our leading scorer. I guess, well, that was John Bates' junior year or senior year, but anyway, no, it was John's senior year because John Hanley was with us that year, and he was a sophomore, and Johnny Bates came up with 3 quick fouls, or 4 fouls in the middle of the 4th quarter, and I had to put John Hanley in, and he did a heck of a job against McNeil. We ended up winning that ball game, but we've always had some real good games with Abington.
Of course, I think Abington, won the state crown back in '74.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Had some great play. Ricky Reed and Keith Parham went on.
It's nice. First time Norristown got the tip.
Steve Bishop to Dobbs. Junie Lewis back in there along with Barlow, Greenberg, Yarnoff, and Gaston for the Eagles. Dobbs, Wise, Hadrick, Bishop, and Queenan. Bishop from outside rolls around, no good. Greenberg with the tough rebound. Yarnoff will bring it down the court for the Ghosts. And Lou Simpson will be checking into the game at the next stoppage. Frank Dobbs with the steal. Dobbs and Hadrick, Lewis right there, but Dobbs brings it in. And that's the type of thing that'll turn the tempo for the Eagles and get the crowd behind them.
I knew he was going to get one sooner or later.
Gaston passes up the shot to Yarnoff, down low to Barlow. His shot blocked by Queenan.
Get away with it that time, Darren. Put it back. Looks like big Lou Simpson's getting ready to come back in.
Queenan loses it. It'll be the Eagles' ball, though, as it goes off the hands of Junie Lewis. Here you can hear Lou Simpson coming back in. Stan Hadrick taking a seat. Wise to Dobbs, to Bishop. Won't fall again, but it's tapped in there by Wayne Wise.
Wayne has come alive the second half. That's his 8th point.
And he has 11 in the game. Lewis from outside. Bounces high. Wise there. Dobbs with a 3-on-1 Eagles break. Dobbs feeds to Queenan, who can't hold on to it. Turnaround and puts it through. Queenan hung tough that time and got the ball back in possession, and Abington whistles a timeout. So Norristown has opened up their biggest lead of the game, 6 points, 54-48, 6:01 to go. Well, the Eagles got their transition game going there.
It was typical Norristown spurt, and it's been that way all night, back and forth. Abington up by 4 or 5, Norristown up by 4 or 5. So, again, a typical Norristown-Abington game. You'll never know until the last minute who's going to win this thing. Although, right now, I think Norristown is in the driver's seat. They got Lewis with 3 fouls. They got Barlow with 3, so they got to be a little bit careful. The only person in foul trouble with Norristown is Simpkins, and he's on the bench. So, Norristown's in the driver's seat at this point. But that can change quickly, too.
As we've seen.
again, the big difference tonight is you got Wise who's scoring in the game. Greenberg has been shut down a little bit, so the tide has turned a little bit compared to over there.
And you know, surprisingly, Junie Lewis, who has the ball right now, has been very quiet tonight. Only 13 points here.
Yep.
Wise with the rebound, up to Bishop. Bishop has Queenan.
That's a good move right there. Pulls up, takes a jump.
Queenan fighting for the rebound. It comes back out. Lou Simpson with it. He puts it up. Doesn't go. Queenan with the board. He's fouled. Foul on number 43, Barlow. That's his fourth. And immediately, number 23. Let's see, that's Howard Burrell. Gets off the bench. He'll be coming in for Barlow. I'm sure
it's getting awfully physical under that basket. Everybody's going for the ball. I will say that.
Sure, John Cresswell's glad to have Barlow out of there for Abington. Simpson with the rebound, and we have a jump ball. Simpson 6'6", Lewis 6'1". Lewis with the outstanding leaping ability, though. And it goes to Abington. Gaston in the crowd gets it back to Lewis, who's there to help out. Lewis forced that one. Shot no good. It's on the floor. And
I think you're going to see Lewis take a lot more shots now, especially if they get down any further, because he's their offensive threat.
you know, you could point it out against Truman how if you've got such a good player like a Sally, a Queenan, or a Lewis, you have to go to him throughout the game.
Yes. Well, what I was trying to point out with Truman was that they weren't going to him inside like they did in the first quarter, you know, when he had his 17 points or the fourth quarter.
Here, though, Lewis seems to be content not to be that much of the scorer tonight.
Right. He's a team player, no doubt about that.
Greenberg with Simpson there. Steve Bishop comes around and fouls him, though.
Well, Steve doubles down and reaches in, gets a foul. That's his third.
Norristown up here, though, by 55-48 score. 5:02 left in this game. Greenberg.
Threw a couple bricks that time. That's it. Just take your time now. You're 7 points ahead. You don't have to hurry anything.
Queenan back out to Dobbs. Frankie's shot no good, taken down by Lewis. Lewis pulls up and puts it through.
He's dangerous. You never know with that guy.
Steve Bishop just pulls up. Five-point Norristown advantage. 4:15 to go here in this game. Dobbs saves it back to Bishop. Has Wise
Nice
open.
pass.
Too anxious. Wise that time. At the other end, Burrell to Lewis, and he puts it in. So the Eagles blew a great chance at the other end. Norristown's lead's been cut to 3. They were up by 7. Queenan in the middle, down low to Wise. Well goes Simpson with the rebound, and Lou Simpson puts it through. Boy, the Eagles really needed that basket.
He can help this team.
Not like that, though.
No, not a very good foul. Not a very smart foul. Although the way Greenberg's been shooting tonight, you know, on the foul line, he might be the person to put there
As you
Still
said,
not 1-1 anyway, so nobody got hurt. Yeah.
that's right. They're going to be inbounding it. Yarnoff and Fitzgerald back in. Yarnoff, the trigger man, out to Fitzgerald. He loses it. Stevie Bishop right there. He's going in uncontested.
And he does it right-handed too. He's a left-hander.
59-52. 3 minutes to go. Lewis with it. Oh, that one too hard. Queenan with the rebound. Queenan bringing it up to Bishop. Back to Queenan. It's knocked out of his hands, but Queenan will be going to the line. Burrell back in for Fitzgerald. See, how many does Darren have here? 13.
Got 24. 25 right now.
Oh, he's having his usual game.
Yes, he is. He's above his average.
61-52. Norristown opening up their biggest lead here. 2:55 to go. Greenberg, good at second effort there and puts it in.
That's what he was doing a lot over at Abington, getting the ball inside and muscling up.
Bishop to Simpson, who's open. And Simpson puts it in, and he's fouled. I thought it was going to be 3 seconds that time on Simpson. He gets away with it, though. So Lou Simpson, 2 straight buckets. You know, if Lou can ice it, they'll have a 10-point lead here with 2:40 to go. And he does.
The way he's shooting, I can't believe that kid. I'm glad to see it, though. Nice young man.
Oh, they go alley-oop to Lewis. He can't hold it. Simpson pulls it away. Norristown crowd really into it now. Dobbs throws it off the hands of Bishop, though. Turnover, Eagles. Abington brings it back. Abington's got to push it up now. Larson in the game. Yarnoff has Wise. They go to Burrell. He's stripped by Dobbs. Queenan recovers it, puts it up court to Dobbs. Frankie Dobbs pulls up for the jumper. He misses it. Bishop pulls it back.
They pull it out.
Time on Norristown side. They have the 10-point lead. 2 minutes to go and counting.
Big Lou.
Bishop's pass, though, hits the rim. Sloppy play there on the Eagles' part.
I don't know what they're doing. All they have to do is pull out and settle down a little bit. They'll get double teamed. Somebody's got to be open.
Lewis. He gets the jumper and he's fouled on the play.
That's Darren's third.
And Norristown's going to be taking their time out here. Norristown up by 8, 64-56, 1 minute and 48 seconds to go in this game. Somehow I don't think an 8-point lead is enough.
Not in this game. Not in this game. Lewis, Kansas, it's only 7, and but I don't know. I don't understand right now why Norristown's so held-to-skelter. All they got to do is pull the ball out and you know, make them failure. They don't have to score any more points. They're certainly going to double team the ball. That's got to leave somebody open. Then you might get the pass underneath for the layup. Yeah, that's easier said sitting here because in the excitement of the game, a lot of times and plus you're talking about 16-year-old kids, 16, 17-year-old kids with a lot of pressure on them, a lot of excitement, a lot of noise, you know, and they think that they're doing the right thing.
So coming out, Bishop, Simpson, Queenan, Dobbs, and Wise. They've been in the majority this final quarter. Junie Lewis will have a chance to complete a 3-point play here.
Ooh, that might have been a violation.
20 points now for Lewis. Wise looking for somebody to inbound it to. Gets it to Dobbs. Dobbs fouled from behind by Burrell. Frank gets to first. Simpson and Wise, everyone back the other end. And Dobbs, 2 for 2. 66-57, 145. And Burrell pops from outside. 6-foot sophomore gets it. Wise to Queenan. He's triple teamed immediately. Queenan loses it. Rebound. Gets his own. Gets it back again, I should say. Wise to Bishop.
Hold out, Steve. Somebody's open. Somebody's open underneath.
Wise to Simpson. And he does it. And Burrell fouls him in the process.
So what you got to do, somebody's got to be open. They got a double team out here, sometimes triple team. If you got a good guard out there can see him, they're going to find a man open underneath all night.
And Wise made that nice pass.
Exactly, for the next minute 17 seconds anyway.
Won't go for Lou.
Missed one, I don't believe it.
So much is expected from him now. Burrell from outside. Too hard. Queenan skying in there for the rebound. He's fouled by Greenberg. And Stan Hadrick, along with Barlow, come back into the game. Lou Simpson getting a good round of applause, and he deserves it as he goes to the bench.
Did a nice job while I was in there. Got a few rebounds on the game, got a couple big baskets, and shot 3 for 4 from the foul line.
Queenan misses it. And you know, the Eagles made their run once again when Lou was in the lineup. They try to go down low to Lewis. Queenan picks it off. Hadrick recovers it. Hadrick, Dobbs, Bishop, Queenan, and Wise in there now. Dobbs to Queenan. Dunk. Dunk by Darren. And the Norristown fans on their feet.
Crowd to the feet, doesn't it?
40.
I was going to say about 2.5 minutes ago, I think the game's over. I can say it now for sure. I didn't want to say it too soon, but I just felt something that Norristown had it under control.
You're not going to start singing for us like Don Meredith, right?
Absolutely.
70-59, 37 seconds left. Norristown's just about wrapped this one up. Barlow hits from the foul line. And notice from, I'd say, mid-third quarter on, and especially when Barlow was out of the game, Abington had no success down low.
That's exactly right.
And they were eating the Eagles up in the first half there. Dobbs pulls it in, 70-60. And Frankie finally hits from the outside.
He had to go do that. I had him down for 8.
Oh, Lewis misses that one. Gets his own rebound, puts it through. Nice move. 13 seconds left. Little action between Lewis and Hadrick on the side.
Yeah, it's Hadrick's first points of the night, but he did an excellent job running the ball club. That's what I like about him. He's not concerned about scoring.
He's got a roll and he fills it.
That's exactly right.
10 seconds left. Lewis misses. Queenan with the rebound. 3 seconds. Queenan from half court. And that's it. Norristown has done it again. They've defeated Abington 74-62. We'll be back in just a minute with our post-game show. Pressure.
Raising 4 kids is enough pressure.
Okay, Norristown emerges victorious here at the gymnasium once again. They've come back. They defeated Truman last week. Tonight they did it to Abington. Final scores, I looked, 74-62. And Bill, you had said earlier in the pregame show that this was a game you felt Norristown was going to win. and thrive on their transition game, and once again they did it.
Yeah, I thought the difference might be the way Wise played, a few other factors, but I just felt that with Abington coming in here and Norristown losing down there, that Norristown had something to prove to them. Greenberg was a big factor down there. He didn't have as many tonight as he did down there. Wise wasn't tonight. He played a much better game. But, of course, I'll tell you another thing. Stevie Bishop, when he was in the game down at Abington, brought them back, too. He sparked Norristown down there, and they almost pulled it out. And as we saw tonight, he came in the first half after being down maybe 6 or 7, brought us right back in the ball game with 3 field goals in a row. So he did another nice job. There were a lot of different things tonight that had made the difference in the ball game.
And Norristown plays so well as a team, and I think that's the one thing we've seen throughout this season. I mean, Darren Queenan's going to get his 25 to 30 points every night. It doesn't matter. But there always seems to be somebody else there to pick up the slack. Frankie Dobbs was not on his game offensively this evening. Steve Bishop comes off the bench and pops him in.
Exactly. Like I said about Stan Hadwick, he didn't get anything from the scoring columns or the last 2 foul shots he made, but he's always in the game. He plays defense. He moves the ball. He looks to pass the ball. Made some real nice passes tonight. So, like you said, they're a good club. They play well together. They just sometimes get a little tentative, a little lackadaisical when they get behind, and then they realize, hey, we're in a ball game. We better get moving. And as we saw tonight, it happened a couple of times. At one point, we were like 6 or 7 down, and within a minute, we were 1 point ahead. So it's typical of Norristown team, especially this team. And I just think that for their benefit, I think maybe when we get in the playoffs, they're not going to be able to do that with some of the teams they're going to play. But we'll worry about that when the time comes.
That's the truth. Of course, Norristown tonight, Darren Queenan led the way. 27 points?
Frankie Dobbs had 10, a little bit off his average. Hadwick had 2. Wise came back this game with a much better game than last Abington contest. He had 11. Stevie Bishop played one of his finest games tonight, coming off with 16 points. Not only the points, but the hustle, the defense, the passes, and things such as this. And of course, big, sweet Lou Simpson comes back again, gives us another good ball game. A couple good rebounds, a couple foul shots that he made. So he played a nice game, and I think if he continues to come along, he's going to help John's team quite a bit in the playoffs. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, he had 8 points tonight, but the key, I think, with Simpson was when he came into the game, Norristown was able to shut Abington down low.
That's exactly right. They didn't get some of those peepers that they were getting earlier in the game. Of course, with Abington, we had Barlow with 13. He had most of those. Well, he had 6 the first half, 7 the second half. Yarniff had 2. Lewis, again, a great player. A little bit, in my mind, a little too fancy tonight sometimes. That naturally, he's a great player. We all know that, and he's going to be a great college player. But there's some things he did tonight that I hate to use the term hot doggish because I know he's not a hot dog player. He's a fine young man from what I understand, but I'm sure he could have done him a lot easier than he tried to do. Greenberg played a good ball game, but not as much of a factor in the scoring column as last time. He had 11. Gaston 8, Fitzgerald 4, and Burrell 2 for 62 points.
That's right. And okay, Norristown with the victory tonight. They're going into the playoffs. They finished second in the Suburban 1 League. They avenged their 2 losses of the season in the league play against Truman and Abington in consecutive nights here at the Norristown Gymnasium. What do you look for going into the playoffs for Norristown?
Well, I'll tell you what, they have about a 10-day layoff before they start the playoffs, and that can be to your advantage or it can go against you sometimes, too. I mean, kids get tired of sitting around. They've been practicing all year, so they certainly don't want to practice with the intensity that they should. I found that a couple of years that we went into the state playoffs that there's a lot of sitting around, so John's going to have to come up with some things to keep them happy, make practice a little fun. But as far as the players are concerned, I think we should, if we win 2 ball games, we're in a state playoff. And with the way the pairings have gone, I think we're going to play teams that we probably should beat. And to our advantage, I think they're both here at Norristown. So I look for us to get in the state tournament, whether as a district champ or a district runner-up or whatever, because they're going to put about 6 or 7 teams, maybe 8 teams in the state tournament from District 1. But we'll be there, and I think the season's going to prolong itself a little bit.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to bring you the games for Norristown this season due to some strange rules by a group of gentlemen collectively known as the PIAA. That's life. But make sure you watch the Norristown School Access Channel's message board because you'll see when the district games or the playoff games are going to be occurring. Some of them, as Bill was saying, will be here at home. So make sure you come on out because as we've noted throughout this season, the team plays so much better when there's a crowd here.
I think so. And Alan, I'll tell you, I'm a little disappointed that we're not going to be able to do the games because I really enjoy it. And I want to thank you for all the help that you gave me this year. Something new to me, a little nervous at the beginning, but I feel I'm getting a little bit more comfortable, a little more relaxed each game we do. And you've been a big help, and I appreciate it. Maybe next year we can get together again.
Okay, I'd like to thank you for coming on down here this year. It certainly is different having a former coach, especially one of the Norristown Eagles who coached for so many years. And when I say color analyst, it's definitely the truth because I didn't have to do a thing. And I think they're renewing your contract for next season, so there's no problem. Me, they're kicking out.
I guess after 20 years, I must have learned a little bit anyway. But I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate your help and Mr. Coyer and his crew's help, too.
Okay, this game once again brought to you by the Norristown Area School District under the direction and production of Tony Coyer. And we'd like to thank all the people that have contributed throughout this season, helping us, running the camera, coming and setting up here at Norristown's Gymnasium. And make sure you stay tuned to Norristown School Access Channel because we'll have future telecasts, probably of lacrosse games. So for Bill Work